This is Manhattan in 1609. No skyscrapers, no noise, just a wild, hilly island. For centuries, the Lenape people lived here, fishing in pristine rivers and hunting in these woods. Then, everything changed. The Dutch ship Half Maan dropped anchor, looking for a shortcut to Asia. They didn't find Asia, but they found timber. The ancient forests began to fall, one tree at a time. By 1624, the first permanent cabins appeared. They called this tiny, muddy outpost New Amsterdam. To protect their investment, they built Fort Amsterdam right at the tip, the seed of a superpower. It looked more like Holland than America. Windmills ground green on hills that don't even exist today. Fearing attacks, they built a massive wooden wall on the northern border. We still call that street Wall Street. But in 1664, the British arrived with warships. The Dutch surrendered without a fight. New Amsterdam became New York. Under British rule, the city hardened. Wood turned to brick. The village was becoming a town. The harbor exploded with trade. Sugar, tea, and timber flowed in, making merchants incredibly rich. Disaster struck in 1776. A massive fire wiped out a third of the city during the Revolutionary War. But New York doesn't stay down. They rebuilt instantly, replacing the ruins with stronger stone structures. The population boomed, but the hills were in the way, so they literally dug them up and flattened the island. Then came the master plan, the commissioner's plan of 1811 through the famous grid that defines the city today. They paved the ancient Native American trail and called it Broadway. The city's main artery began to beat. By the 1830s, the streets were chaos. Thousands of horses created the world's first major traffic jams. To fight the darkness, gas lines were laid. For the first time, the city that never sleeps actually woke up. Millions of immigrants began to flood the docks, escaping famine and war, looking for the American dream. To house them, greedy developers built tenements, cramped, dark, and dangerous, but bursting with life. 1857 brought a miracle. They cleared the shanty towns in the center to build a massive central park. During the Civil War, factories pumped out smoke day and night. New York was becoming an industrial titan. To move people, they looked up. The L trains rumbled about the streets, darkening the avenues below. 1883 changed physics. The Brooklyn Bridge opened, the first steel wire suspension bridge connecting the boroughs. 3 years later, a gift from France rose in the harbor. Lady Liberty became the face of the nation. Then came the light. Thomas Edison's power stations turned the gas lamps off and the electric bulbs on. Steel allowed buildings to defy gravity. The Flatiron Building shocked the world with its impossible shape. 1904, the city went underground. The first subway line opened, moving people faster than ever before. That same year, Longacre Square was renamed Times Square, becoming the electric heart of the city. Tragedy struck in 1911 with the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, forcing the city to write modern safety laws. But the building didn't stop. Grand Central Terminal opened, a temple to transportation and luxury. The Roaring Twenties brought jazz and money. The skyline began to spike upward in a race to the clouds. The Chrysler Building claimed the crown, a silver Art Deco masterpiece piercing the sky. But only for a moment. In 1931, the Empire State Building took the title, built in just 1 year. Even in the Great Depression, Rockefeller Center rose up, a city within a city made of stone and art. But poverty hit hard. Central Park filled with Hoovervilles, shocks for the homeless in the shadow of wealth. World War II turned the harbor into a fortress. Battleships and convoys departed to fight in Europe. After the war, the middle class grew. Massive brick housing projects like Stuyvesant Town replaced the slums. The world came to Manhattan. The United Nations headquarters rose on the East River, securing global peace. But the car was king. Master builder Robert Moses slashed highways through neighborhoods, changing the map forever. Architecture changed too. The Seagram Building introduced the glass box era, sleek, modern, and cold. The Pan Am Building blocked the view of Park Avenue, a symbol of corporate dominance and helicopter travel. Then came the giants. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center rose, anchoring the bottom of the island. The 1970s brought grit, graffiti, and blackouts. The city was dangerous, broke, but culturally exploding. The 80s brought the Wall Street boom. Money flowed back in, and the skyline began to tighten and densify. By the 90s, the city was cleaned up. Times Square turned from sleazy to corporate, glowing brighter than ever before. September 11th, 2001, the darkest day. The skyline was broken and the city paused in silence. But we rebuild. The Freedom Tower, One World Trade, rose from the ashes, reclaiming the height record. The city turned green again. The High Line turned an old train track into a park in the sky. Billionaires Row defied logic. Pencil-thin towers rose on 57th Street, casting long shadows over the park. We built over the trains. Hudson Yards created a brand new neighborhood out of thin air on the west side. Today, the skyline is a mix of old brick and new glass, a vertical timeline of American history. From a wild forest to the capital of the world, New York City proves that nothing here stays the same. The Dutch wouldn't recognize it, the British wouldn't believe it, but the spirit remains. As the sea levels rise, the city plans for the future, building seawalls and green roofs to survive. It is a machine of concrete and steel, fueled by the dreams of 8 million people. Every street corner has a ghost, every building has a story, and every light has a price. This is the city that was dug, paved, burned, and built by sheer force of will, and it is still growing, still climbing, still evolving. This is New York City, the center of the world.